Hello everyone. In my previous video I had talked about foreign bodies of the food passage. Now in this video today I'll be talking about foreign bodies of air passages. Now foreign bodies of air passages can be either in the larynx, in the trachea or in the bronchi. All have different clinical features, so we'll be discussing each. Now if it is a large foreign body, then it will not be able to cross the glottic region. So it will lodge in the supraglottic area. And if it is a small foreign body, then it will cross the glottis and it will reach the trachea or the bronchi. And if it is a sharp foreign body, then it can stick anywhere in the airway. Now foreign bodies in the air passages, they are more common in children, especially below 4 years of age, because they have the habit of putting everything in their mouth. And the foreign body either can be vegetable foreign body or a non-vegetable foreign body. The peanut is a very common vegetable foreign body in children. Other vegetable foreign bodies are almond seeds, peas, beans, or wheat seed. Non-vegetable foreign bodies, they can be whistle, they can be small plastic toys or a safety pin or small ball bearings. Now in adults, sometimes foreign body in the air passage can be seen, especially in comatose patients or in patients who are in deep sleep or who are having alcohol intoxication. And loose teeth or the denture, they are common foreign bodies in adults. The nature of the foreign body can be non-irritating or irritating. Non-irritating, it is similar to non-vegetable foreign bodies like plastic, glass, and metal. And because they do not produce any reaction, local reaction, so they can remain symptomless for a long period of time. While irritating foreign bodies are the vegetable foreign bodies, and they produce diffuse violent reaction, which is sometimes called vegetal bronchitis. And these vegetable foreign bodies, they swell up and then they will cause the progressive airway obstruction. The clinical features of foreign body in air passage can be divided into three periods: the initial period, the symptomless period, and the later symptoms. So initial period will be of choking or gagging and wheezing, and it generally lasts for a short time. And during this period, because of coughing, and the patient, either the foreign body can be coughed out or it lodges further down. Then there is middle period of symptomless period, in which the respiratory mucosa adapts to the foreign body, so the symptoms disappear, and then they again reappear later, and that depends on the site of lodgement of the foreign body. So the laryngeal symptoms can be there can be sudden death if it is a large foreign body. It blocks the airway in the supraglottic region and patient dies suddenly. The other symptoms, laryngeal symptoms, can be pain in the throat. There can be change of voice if the foreign body is near the vocal cords. There can be croupy cough. There is aphonia, especially if it is a large foreign body. Then patients also complain of dyspnea. Then wheezing sounds can be heard. And if a foreign body damages any part of the airway, then hemoptysis can also be seen. The tracheal symptoms include, if it is a sharp foreign body, it will produce only cough and hemoptysis. If it is a loose foreign body, then with respiration that foreign body will move up and down between the carina and the lower surface of the vocal cords. So it will produce a characteristic sound which is called auditory slap or palpatory thud. So that is a characteristic feature of a tracheal foreign body. And on auscultation or even with open mouth, wheeze can also be present and heard. Now if it is a bronchial foreign body, it will produce different types of symptoms. Now generally right side foreign body is common. That is, foreign body in the right bronchus is more common than the left bronchus because of two reasons. Number one is that right bronchus is wider than the left one, and second one, the right bronchus, it is more in line with the left with the trachea. So the foreign body can easily go into the right bronchus than in the left. Now, as can be seen in this figure, there can be four scenarios of a bronchial foreign body. Uh, Figure A shows a partial obstruction where the air can move into the lungs and come out. So here the main symptom will be only wheezing. Then in B we can see that there is a one-way obstruction. Here the air is only able to enter the lungs, but because of the valve mechanism, the air is not able to escape the lungs. So there is collection of air in the lungs which leads to emphysema. Another scenario, see here, here it is a total obstruction. So the air neither can enter the lungs nor it can come out. So it leads to atelectasis. Similarly, in the figure D, here also there is one way obstruction, but however, the obstruction is such that the air can only escape the lungs. It does not enter the lung. So again, it will lead to the development of atelectasis. So depending on the type of the foreign body, the bronchial symptoms will be different, and there can be these four scenarios. Diagnosis of a foreign body in air passage can be made when there is a history of foreign body ingestion, when the parents say that child has ingested something, and then there is presence of a classical triad of these three symptoms: the sudden onset of coughing in an otherwise normal child, then wheezing, and decreased air entry on auscultation. So the air entry into a particular lung will be decreased. So if these three symptoms are present along with the history, then it strongly suggests that there will be a foreign body in the air passage. Now, X-ray neck, chest, PA view, and lateral view, it is an initial and a very important investigation to visualize the foreign body. It shows the size, shape, and location of the radio opaque foreign body, and also it shows the secondary changes in the lungs, like atelectasis, emphysema, or if there is any mediastinal shift. Then, for radiolucent foreign bodies or some foreign bodies that are not clearly visualized on X-ray neck, then fluoroscopy and CT scan chest, they are also required sometimes. Now X-ray and fluoroscopy, they should be these views should be taken during inspiration as well as expiration. So it will give a more detailed view of the condition of the lung, whether it is atelectasis or it is emphysematous. So this is an example uh, of a chest X-ray. Here we can see that the left side it is hyperinflated. So such type of picture can be seen. Now this hyperinflation is because of the check valve mechanism of the foreign body. This is another example of a foreign body. Here is a flat foreign body of a shape of a coin. So on AP view it is looking like a slit like, while on lateral view it is looking circular. Now this should be compared with a foreign body in the esophagus. In esophagus, the similar foreign body, for example coin, it will be circular in AP view and slit like in lateral view. But if it is in air passage like in this X-ray, it will be slit like in AP view and it will be circular in lateral view. So that differentiation should be done on X-ray. Now management will again depend on the site of the foreign body. If it is a laryngeal foreign body and if it is a large foreign body, then it can suddenly choke the patient and the patient becomes aphonic and he is not even able to cry for help. So unless immediate measures are taken, there is usually sudden death. But if Heimlich maneuvers can be tried, then sometimes it saves the patient. In this maneuver, the examiner stands behind the patient, and in the lower part of the chest, the examiner gives three or four sudden thrusts. So when the lower part of chest is pushed, because of the air comes out from the lungs and it can dislodge the foreign body. So it can be sometimes it can be a very life-saving procedure, Heimlich maneuver. The other modalities for laryngeal foreign body can be cricothyrotomy or emergency tracheostomy. Now this is not a definitive procedure, it only buys time such that the patient becomes stable, and then after laryngoscopy or laryngofissure the foreign body can be removed. If it is a tracheal or a foreign bronchial foreign body, then various modalities are present. The most common one is the rigid bronchoscopy, in which a rigid bronchoscope is inserted and with the use of a forceps, the foreign body is removed from trachea or the bronchi. Then rigid bronchoscopy can be aided with a telescopic vision, in which a video picture of the foreign body can be seen, or it can be used along with C-arm fluoroscopy. Then, if it is a round foreign body, it can be removed by using a Dormier basket or a Fogarty's catheter. Then, if it is a stuck foreign body, that is, it is stuck to the walls of the trachea or the bronchus, then sometimes thoracotomy and bronchotomy may be required. Nowadays, flexible fiber optic Bronchoscopy can also be used to remove the foreign bodies from the bronchus, especially in adults. Thank you.